you. Tell me what you wanna do, what you gonna do.
So, when Tuesday we had 2 bits of information that threw the fan community into consternation and gave a lot of ammo to people who don't want things at Lucasfilm to change, so they have something to talk about on their enormous YouTube channels. I wonder if they're noticing that there's an exodus from their channels. Anyway, this is Kristen Baver. She went to StarWars.com and posted this, I believe, on Wednesday. It is a little blurb about a little blurb about what we saw in episode 6. And it's pretty much, yeah, we saw that, Captain Obvious. And she said basically that this was the exact same building that we saw burning in TLJ. My reply is R2-D2 is the exact same robot we saw in every movie of Star Wars. And your point, it doesn't make any sense. So I really wouldn't worry about that little blurb. I don't really think that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have her on speed dial. If they were able to keep Luke Skywalker's return in episode 16 of Mando a secret, then they're definitely able to keep what they're going to do in the next few years with Star Wars a secret from the likes of a very sad-looking cat lady. So everybody who's worried about it and thinks, oh, it's confirmed. Well, it's always confirmed that, I mean, what are you talking about? It's that kind of thinking is irrational, and it causes everybody else pain and suffering. If you're going to just spew emotionally and not think about what you said, then maybe you should go for a drive, go for a walk, whatever, before you say what you're going to say. I'm saying that as someone who needs to do that too sometimes, because my reaction to what was going on was not good, but I'm fed up with the bullshit. I'm fed up with the irrational, emotional crap. And again, to the people who think TLJ only hurt them, it hurt everybody. So stop making it about you. That's narcissism on steroids. And I can't deal with it, okay? All right? Just stop it. Stay focused on what's going on. This blurb was a shiny object to get you not talking about the last episode of Boba Fett, okay? Because I'm pretty sure right now the story group saw the last 2 episodes of Boba Fett and went, oh shit, we have to do something to take the fans' attention away. And that's what I think. That's why I think this showed up there. Okay, there are people there that are trying to torpedo Jon Favreau right now, and they're not going to be successful. And Disney's already canceling shows that aren't at Lucasfilm, but I'm pretty sure they're going to start canceling people, like firing them and canceling the Acolyte. And the story group knows it. They see what's happening. But anyway, let's go to part 2 of this. As we know, Pablo Hidalgo has taken had taken his employment at Lucasfilm off his Twitter page. Now, this is a guy who's extremely proud of being on the team at Lucasfilm. He doesn't act like he cares about how he represents Lucasfilm. At least he hasn't since I've been following his behavior. I wrote 2 articles for LinkedIn about the problems at Disney and Lucasfilm and how Pablo, the story group, and Kathleen Kennedy's basic presence at Lucasfilm, no matter how good Star Wars will get, as long as they're there, they're anchors on the franchise. And they need to go. Okay, so he comes in and he says, he tries to say he's still there without saying the rumors aren't true. And I've been trying to figure out what all this meant. First off, he's a weasel. He trolls people. Now, his excuse was he took the employment off there so he could fit his friend, the guy that made his new cover, on his bio. You know, you could have taken off Black Lives Matters and anti-fascist and put that on there too. But he didn't. Okay? He didn't. He took off the thing that wasn't as important to him as his ideology, which I find fascinating. Is he still at Lucasfilm? Maybe they just said, you need to take that off there. Okay, you're drawing too much attention to yourself. Okay, but look at his past tweets and what he said to people. He's on a break from writing. He's not got any plans after 20 years, and he doesn't know what Kathy's are. First off, I've got some tweets that he posted about this, and you guys read these and tell me what you think. First off, here you go. He was working as a consultant at Lucasfilm before 2012. It's like around, I think, the year 2000, 2002, around then. If you go to Wikipedia, you can tell when he was there. He built StarWars.com. He was basically the janitor for it. He kept it up and running. He monitored it and, did what a techie would do. He also wrote some comic books, and he was in the last installment of the prequel trilogy, Revenge of the Sith. He played an alien, I think, on and a guest at in the opera box of the Emperor when the Emperor had to talk to Anakin Skywalker. So he was a consultant, okay, till 2012. He approached Kathy Kennedy for a job, a permanent job at Lucasfilm, and she gave it to him. So basically what you're looking at is somebody like, name the fanboy you know, who's very rowdy, very opinionated, with a bit of juvenile behavior and immaturity, getting a job at Lucasfilm. It is literally the last place a guy like Pablo Hidalgo should work, because he's been unprofessional. He dresses like a slob when he goes to work, by the way. He's been unprofessional since he got the job. Okay, this is not a guy who went to Dartmouth for an MBA. This is not a Harvard business school graduate, or the Wharton Business School or the London School of Economics or Oxford. Okay, this is a guy who, I can't remember where he went to school. I'll have to look it up. But he did not go to school to make a lot of money, and he's not an economics expert. He's basically somebody who fiddles with computers and thinks he's creative. And when you look at how he brags, far more creative and far more of a genius than George Lucas. We have a guy who has a narcissistic personality disorder. Okay, he's also a sociopath. Okay, If he was the one behind what happened to Gina, I mean, look at how many people are following his Twitter account. I think I might go and audit it to just see how many bots were bought, because that'll tell you a lot. Okay, there's a way to get something trending by using fake bots on Twitter. Anyway, to make a long story short, this guy goes on Twitter and says this, and we have no way of confirming if he's telling the truth. We have no way of confirming because Lucasfilm won't allow itself to go public with this. So we don't know what the facts are. And in my articles yesterday, if you go to LinkedIn and look for them, there's a hashtag Lucasfilm, hashtag Susan Arnold, hashtag Disney, hashtag Pablo Hidalgo, you'll find them. Personnel is policy. And the customers look at people like him, and he has made himself famous. He put himself out there, okay? So him asking about a year ago why people care what he thought, he was a nobody. Well, you put yourself out there in the public, Pablo. You went on podcasts. You sat on the days with Kathy Kennedy. So you aren't just a nobody, okay? You put yourself out there in the public, and now that people see you, they see the face of Lucasfilm, okay? All right, personnel is policy. This is the face a lot of people on the internet see, and they don't like what they see. And my point of the articles was to point out everything wrong with allowing him to be part of that world. My point of the article was, I don't believe Disney would lose anything by publicly firing him and publicly disbanding and laying off most of the story group. I mean, Leland Chee is a great guy, and he's been there far longer, I think, than Pablo. He's the only one I keep, to be honest. But the rest of them, you know, you can't tell good Star Wars stories if they're political activists. And everybody that Hidalgo associates with, not just at Lucasfilm, but the writers that he has hired, are political activists. They are political activists. And this is why the books aren't selling, why the comics aren't selling. You know, you can have some millennial screaming that the sequel trilogy made $4.5 billion. No, net about $2 billion if it was lucky. So no, it didn't. Okay? You know, the same kind of people are at Lucasfilm. They actually believe, because they don't understand finance, that they've been successful, and they're not. They haven't been successful since TFA. And even that, in the end, was a $2 billion slap in the face to the fans. I could go on in another upload explaining why TFA was almost worse than TLJ. Okay, and because it set up, sadly, what Rian Johnson was going to do. Okay, J.J. Abrams had absolutely no problem helping Rian Johnson when he asked him. Okay, no problem. But back to Pablo. The point is, he got everybody, again, up in arms over absolutely saying nothing. Okay, he did not refute the rumors at all. If you think he did, you can't read. And we're back to where we've always been, which is where Pablo Hidalgo, Brian Young, Jason Ward, etc. want us, fighting with each other, speculating, and not happy. Okay? The division helps the bad guys, which is why I believe, and I hope Susan Arnold read what I wrote, that Pablo Hidalgo, the story group, has to go. They have to be gone. And for the High Republic needs to just be canceled. It really needs to go. And Kathy Kennedy, she has to be forced to resign. I do know the board doesn't want her there. I have talked to other people besides Doomcock. I'm an investor. I almost feel like calling the people that run that shop and saying, when is Kathy Kennedy going to be gone? Because if anybody is hurting right now, Disney getting back on its feet, it's the black hole of suck that is Lucasfilm, that has been her cauldron of bullshit for the last decade. Okay, that's what needs to happen. Because the moment she is gone and we get someone in there, I have no doubt that Bob Chapek already has someone picked. One of his own person, okay, to work with Jon Favreau. You know, I wouldn't doubt that this new position that they're giving Favreau might be just a waiting platform till he can get in there as president of Lucasfilm himself. Okay, but whoever's going to go in there after her will probably demand that the employees behave themselves and act responsibly. And again, I'm going to leave you with this. If you work for Lucasfilm, Disney, which if you work for Lucasfilm, you work for Disney. Okay, let's be honest. Just like when I was working for Dick Armey, you have a responsibility to go forth in the world with that in the back of your mind. Because whatever you do is going to reflect either well on your bosses or poorly, okay? Which is why Hill staffers get fired for drunk driving, which is why Hill staffers get fired for fraternizing, okay? Which is why they get fired for taking gifts that they're not supposed to, okay? Which is why they get fired for having a fight with a constituent, okay? What is done in my name reflects upon me. And everything that Kennedy has done, from allowing the fans to be attacked, we've been told she hates us. You know, she doesn't have to worry, we hate her back. Sadly, for her, I would think that someone in her position would want the trust of the fan base. Okay. She has reflected poorly on Disney, just as Pablo Hidalgo, and as the forward face of Lucasfilm, because he put himself there, has reflected poorly on Lucasfilm and Disney. And the people that he worked with, the authors, Justina Ireland, Claudia Gray, Daniel Jose Older, have all reflected poorly on Lucasfilm as well. Chuck Wendig got fired. Okay, that's what you do when someone goes above and beyond. Okay, Wendig got fired. Pablo Hidalgo can do this, can do the same things Wendig has, and for some reason it appears he is still there. I want you all to question why. And is it because he's being protected? Or is he merely lying? I don't know. This is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.